should we talk about this West End play?
Oh, God.
Get to this. So this is a play called Slave Play, Sam, starring Kit Harington. I don't know who Kit Harington is.
I do. Game of
Big
Thrones.
in Game of Thrones.
Big
Very
in
big
Game of Thrones.
yeah.
And the playwright has said that for 2 nights, this will have a black-only audience because it is necessary to radically invite them in with initiatives that say, you're invited, specifically you, because not enough people of colour go to the theatre.
This is about apparently removing the white gaze. So to make people who are...
Say gaze?
Gaze.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not gaze. G-A-Z-E.
That's you, Blonde Pierce.
I'm not going to that play under any circumstances anyway. Let me tell you. Not ever. Not
White
ever.
Gaze, G-A-Z-E.
Just to be clear.
Just because.
I don't know where to go now, Andrea.
The point being that it can be uncomfortable for black people to be in what is traditionally a very white area, which is the West End.
Right.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of people
It's expensive for
socioeconomically
everybody.
can't afford to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of white poor people can't afford to go to the theatre either, let me put it.
But the former culture minister, Ed Vaizey, this morning, he's a Conservative peer. He said that actually he supports this because when he was culture minister, he went to see a play that starred Lenny Henry, and he noticed that actually a lot of the audience was made up of black people, which stuck out to him because as a regular theatre goer, normally the audience is predominantly white. And so he spoke to Lenny Henry afterwards and decided to do something about increasing the number of black people who go to theatres.
Well, how can you do that?
And so he thinks that this is a good idea, that you actually increase the...
No, it isn't.
But I would say that actually, I do understand that actually, if you want to make audiences more diverse, you do have to do something about that. But actually,
lower the
to have
prices.
Segregation, this feels to me like going back to a part. Yeah, exactly. And surely this is not the way to solve it.
This is discrimination, pure and simple. I'm not even sure if this is legal. There was a couple of MPs in the papers today saying, is this even legal? But, you know, why...
Well, it wouldn't be if it was if they said
only
white.
Can you imagine if a white theatre... If a theatre said only white people for 2 nights?
Well, the play would be closed down. The Lord Chancellor would be involved, the Culture Secretary would be involved. Questions in the House of Commons.
Would white people be inclined to go and see this play? I wouldn't, not after this.
On principle, I wouldn't.
No,
I think a lot of people will now boycott it on principle. I think a lot of people feel very angry about this because if it was reversed, it would be an absolute unholy...
You can just imagine, can't you?
Yeah. And so I think people do feel very passionate about
this. And who would be condemning it? Sadiq Khan would be the first, the Mayor of London, would be the first to be up on his
he wouldn't be the only one.
This shouldn't be happening in a West End theatre.
Because it's a wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Whichever colour you are, it's a wrong thing.
I
But
agree.
this playwright says, you know, he actually says he's very excited by this, by banning white people from the theatre. He says that black people don't get to go to the theatre. They've been told they don't belong. No, they haven't.
Told them that?
Well, exactly. No one told them that. The bottom line is the theatre is prohibitive for people, black and white, unless you're on a certain salary.
That is true. Very true. Very true.
For white working class people, what did you say? You went to see Cirque du Soleil the other week.
I took my godchildren and their mum, and it was there was 4 of us, and it cost £500.
I mean, that's outrageous.
Wow.
The phrase,
they weren't the best seats in the house.
I'm genuinely trying to open my mind to what positives there might be in this, because I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the people who've made this decision. And this is the quote that they've said. The idea of a blackout night is to say this is a night that we are specifically inviting black people to fill up the space, to feel safe with a lot of other black people in a place where they often do not feel safe.
You don't feel safe in a
theatre?
There's all
who's going to not make them
feel like middle-class aggression. They're renowned for it.
Being stabbed to death in the 3rd row.
Group of people with Waitrose cards.
Tubs of posh ice cream, you know.
Don't go in the gods in case you fall over and break your neck. Is that what they're saying? I mean, that is ridiculous.
This is demonising white people. This is saying white people are aggressive to black people. And that's, in this country, I mean, I know there are, I know that we're not always as good as we could be, but generally we bust a gut in this country in terms of equality, in terms of black and white.
To be tolerant.
We try really hard. We try more than most other countries. And the idea that white people were going to be aggressive to people in a West End theatre is beyond.
I suppose what he's done, of course, he's got huge publicity.
I mean,
yes, he has.
Great publicity, free publicity. Everyone's talking about it. Would everybody be talking about this play? Otherwise, I don't think so. So maybe it is a marketing ploy.
Kit Harington could have said, who is a very big house, big name, he's a big draw, I ain't doing this.
Yeah.
I would imagine he probably feels...
Are they going to replace the white members of the cast that night?
I mean,
no.
No, they won't.
And he's very white, Kit Harington.
Well,
is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's very white.
Very white. Yeah.
I presumed it was an all-black cast.
No. I'm just going to,
You tie yourself in knots, don't you, to
Yes.
try and meet some kind of new set of sensibilities. And actually, surely the theatre is a shared experience. And if you are going to go to the theatre, and actually it is a middle-class experience on the whole, if you want to open up the theatre, you should be looking at trying to make tickets cheaper and all that kind of stuff to increase participation. But surely it's a shared experience and we should all be there together.
And it just really makes you wonder. I think there needs to be a bigger national conversation about what is the end game here in terms of diversity and inclusion. What are subsequent governments aiming for? Because presumably we are looking for a time, as Martin Luther King had said, about when it isn't about the colour of your skin, but it is your character that is the most important aspect of a person. And it feels like that's been reversed. We're going the other way.
We're marching backwards. We're marching backwards to those days where hotels were allowed to put up signs saying no black people allowed, where theatres were allowed to say no black people allowed. That was a hellish regressive time. And this is a regressive racist step. You know, what this theatre director said is actually racist. He's making the assumption that white people are going to upset black people just by their very presence in this theatre.
And I never even think about who's sitting next to me.
No, exactly.
Unless
Why would
they're one
you?
of those noisy people.
Yes, eating crisps.
Elbows out.
The only